out here for round 7 at Texas Motor Speedway for Formula Drift. Today I got in about 6 runs on Thursday practice here, and car's feeling awesome. The team's on top of everything. I've got a pretty decent line dialed in. I had 4 pretty aggressive follow runs, 2 super awesome lead runs as well. A couple little things I need to work on tomorrow to get ready for qualifying, but all in all, I'm feeling great. The car's running awesome. It's really hot out here, but the car is actually staying cool, so we're just ready to kind of go into our final practice tomorrow and then ready for qualifying. We just wrapped up our final practice session here Friday, just before qualifying. I was able to get in 2 lead runs out of the lead lane, as well as I took about 4 runs out of the chase position. Was able to get the car feeling really good. I've got a pretty awesome line, I feel, that should get judged really well. Got a little bit of corrections here and there. I kind of check them on the e-brake sometimes in places I shouldn't, so I need to really clean that up for qualifying. But other than that, I think we've got a pretty good chance at a decent score and should be able to qualify, hopefully again within the top 16. We just wrapped up qualifying. First run out, had a pretty aggressive entry, was super wide on outer zone 1. Outer zone 2 was pretty good as well. Getting into outer zone 3 was a bit shallow, which kind of put me on a inside line coming into the first inner clip. Wasn't able to get the car out around it, ended up plowing through the first inner clip. Unfortunately, when doing so, the clipping point actually folded over the front of the car. It broke the hood on the car and actually pushed down the hood onto our cam angle sensor and snapped the sensor, not cleanly off, but snapped it up to where the sensor just failed and wasn't working anymore. I was able to rotate the car coming in towards the wall, got on throttle. I had maybe a quarter of a second, half a second of throttle. It was just enough to keep the car from crashing into the tires. The momentum kind of kept the car going. I was doing everything I can to get the car started again, clutching, trying different gears, flooring it, pedaling it, anything and everything I could to get the car back into power so I can at least finish the run. Unfortunately, the car shut down about maybe 15 feet or so before the finish line. I kind of just coasted, rolled right through it. So unfortunately that was unchaseable lead run, and I didn't actually stay in drift the whole time, so that was a 0. After about 15 minutes of looking over the car, we were able to pinpoint the problem, locate our spare. We had to do a little bit of wiring, soldering to change the connector over to the new sensor. Got that in, got the car started, made sure everything was 100%, and we were ready for our second run. The car's all set, pull up to line, we begin our second run. Again, it come in a bit hot into the first turn, but I'm able to keep it on the track. Was able to kind of touch into the outside zone 2. Was pretty shallow getting to outside zone 3, but was just stayed pinned in it and was doing everything I could to not run into that front clip again. Was able to get out past it, pitched a bunch of angle in the car, nearly over rotating it, got back on power as soon as I could, rotated the car for the tire wall, got out to our final zone there, and was able to tighten up the line and finish with just grazing the inside clip right through the finish line. After all is said and done, the judges awarded that an 81 for my score, so that put me in 24th position. I believe tomorrow I'll be up against Dai Yoshihara, so looking forward to that. Me and Dai had some awesome runs earlier this year in Jersey, and I'm hoping this time, instead of a one more time call, I can just beat him and move into the top 16 for his first time in the season. We had an awesome day so far. The car has been absolutely perfect. I was able to get 6 laps in practice. I got my line dialed in nearly perfect. I felt super comfortable going into our top 32 battle against Dai Yoshihara. To the line, I'm to follow first. On the run up, entered super close to him, was able to dive in on him super tight. Unfortunately, I ended up pitching a little bit too much angle and put me on a bit of a shallower line through the first outer zone. Coming into outer zone 2, I was able to kind of widen back out a bit, get back on his line, transition with him, and keep up to him as much as I could. And then we transitioned to the final wall, so I was able to kind of put it close to his door again and finish the run. Switch positions, I'm up to lead first. Out of the gates, I initiate into the first turn. I'm on the line, I'm super wide. I've only got maybe 4 or 5 inches or so left to the edge of the track. Touch outer zone 2, kind of fill the zone. I'm pretty deep into there, get to 3. Barely missed inner clip 1, super tight on that. Transition for the wall and finished the run up pretty tight. I ended up bumping the final clipping point, which is right at the finish line, which is inner clip 2. Nothing super major, the car felt awesome. We finished the run, we're waiting for the judge's decision. They take a few minutes, deliberate for a bit, they watch a bunch of replays. We ended up going to one more time battle. Moving into our one more time battle, I'm at the follow position again for the first run. We leave the gates, I'm super close to him again. We enter, I'm super tight. Again, a couple little mistakes in the follow position, nothing too crazy. Kept much closer to him this time than I was the first. Finished the run out strong, and it's my turn to lead. Leave the gates, pick up a little bit more speed than I wanted, enter into the first turn, get on throttle, and I knew I'm already at this point on the wide line. Do everything I can to try and drive in track a bit to keep the car on the track itself without falling into the dirt. Unfortunately, I was already on the wider arc. I tried to pull 4th gear to just get a little bit more inside. Unfortunately, it was a little bit too late. My tires fell down into the rocks, and at that point, it's just game over. All rear traction's lost, the car's going where it wants, and I unfortunately blow off track. Guy's able to pass me, finish off the lap strong, as to where at that point I shut the car down, drove in the access road, finished the lap out, knowing at that point I unfortunately had lost the run. After a few minutes deliberation, the judges awarded Dye with the win. Obviously, my mistaken lead position was super catastrophic compared to anything that he did, so he was able to move on to the top 16. Can't thank the team enough. The car's been 100% all weekend. We did very minimal changes on Thursday to get the car dialed in. Ever since then, we've only maybe done 1 suspension adjustment, and other than that, it's just been get seat time to seat time. I got super comfortable with the car. I felt awesome in the driver's seat, and literally just a tiny little mistake on my end, unfortunately, is what ended my weekend and sent us home early. But the guys were awesome. We did an amazing job out here. Everything was literally as perfect as it could be. The car was flawless. We didn't have any issues. And we get to run into the final round at Irwindale Speedway with a car that's still in one piece. I'm gonna go back home, give it a quick cleanup, quick alignment, and then we're ready for Irwindale in about 4 or 5 weeks. So thanks to the team. Thanks again to all my sponsors, Enjuku Racing, BC Racing, Achilles Tire, and Competition Clutch. You guys are my main supporters for everything, as well as everyone else that's on the car. Again, without you guys, I couldn't do it. And as well as all my fans, all my supporters. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be out here. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in Irwindale.